All right, let's talk just for a minute about a four-letter word, comps. You know, we all use this word every day, but I'm always amazed at the difference between what an agent will select and what an appraiser will select as a comparable sale. And often, you know, the difference where we're coming up with low appraisals, it's the selection of comparable sales that gives us the problems. Well, the definition of a comparable sale is really pretty simple. There's 5 things that an appraiser is going to look at. We've got the first thing, it's going to be the site value, location. That's one item they're looking for. Then we're looking at quality. We're looking at age. We're looking at the size of the house, and we're looking at the condition. You know, those 5 things are pretty much it. If you've got all those things that are very similar to the subject property, then you got a pretty good comparable sale. If you got 3 of those, well, you know pretty much where your subject property is going to come in, and then you'll never have to worry about a low appraisal. The problem is where we can't always find those perfect comps. But what happens too many times is that we're selecting comparables that are the closest in proximity, which has nothing to do with comparability. Now, let's talk about, we all know this is what owners do. Let's say there's a new house going up and it's 2 blocks away from their house. Well, this is a 2-story house. It's got granite kitchen countertops, hardwoods throughout. It's got a coffered ceiling, a huge screen porch, a deck. I mean, this house has all the bells and whistles, stainless appliances. Everything looks really good. Well, that owner is going to take the price per square foot of that house that sells, and they're going to apply that to their 1970s brick ranch that has laminate kitchen countertops and tiny bathrooms. Guys, that is not a comp. I don't care how close it is to the subject property. It's not a comparable sale. And this is exactly what happens with computerized valuations. You know, there's so many of these systems coming out that help us to do CMAs. And the problem is, though, you get some great reports. You know, you can get 70 pages of every bell and whistle that you can imagine. The graphs, I mean, these things look great. But when it comes down to helping you figure out a number, their comparable sales, you know, they could be 1920s, 1950s, 1990s, or new construction. They could have 1,000 square feet or 3,500 square feet. They might be waterfront. They might be on the golf course, or they might be, you know, in a neighborhood that's not even remotely close. You know, their definition of comps is either what's really in close proximity, or they expand it and look just about everything, you know, within a 5 or 10 mile radius. It kind of depends on where you live, obviously. But I mean, they're using so many comps that they call it comps, and, you know, narrowing down all that data to where the price that they come up with is absolutely not valid at all. You know, a comparable sale has to have those 5 components, and it needs to be similar to that subject property. So just remember, if you're going to use, whether it's RPR or some online service, you know, to help you do your CMAs, it's a great tool. But remember, you need to be the one that selects those comparable sales. You know, if there's 50 comparable sales in that, you need to take that list way down. You can edit those things however you want. You are the local expert, and you know what's the closest to the subject property. So don't let the computer do that part of the listing for you. You select the comps that are the most similar, and then you won't have to worry about low appraisals or anything. But use those programs wisely. They're a great tool, but when it comes to pricing the house, make sure that the comp selection belongs to you, the local real estate expert.